All right, welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the art of storytelling. We're going to dig into the essential tools and the fundamental blueprint that you can use to turn a simple idea into a story that people just can't forget.
I mean, think about it for a second. You know that book you couldn't put down or that movie that stayed with you for days? What is it about certain stories that just grabs hold of our imagination and refuses to let go? Is it some kind of secret magic?
Well, the good news is it's not magic. It's a craft. You see, great storytelling follows a pattern, a kind of blueprint. And once you understand the core components and how they all fit together, you can build a really powerful narrative yourself.
But we've all been there, right? Staring at that blank page, a million ideas swirling in your head, and you're just wondering, where do I even start? It can feel pretty intimidating. So let's break it down into much more manageable parts. Okay, so every great storyteller, whether they realize it or not, has a toolkit filled with essential elements. Let's unpack the three most important tools you absolutely need to get started. That's conflict, character, and theme. First up, we've got conflict. Now, this is the engine of your story. Seriously, without it, there's no plot, there's no tension, there's no reason for the reader to turn the page. The very best conflicts force your characters to make these difficult choices, and that's what reveals who they truly are when they're under pressure. And as you can see, conflict can take a whole bunch of forms. A hero fighting a villain, that's man versus man. A character struggling against the corrupt system, that's man versus society. And, often the most compelling battle of all is the one fought inside a character's own mind. That's man versus himself.
This slide lays out the two main categories perfectly. On the left, we're seeing external conflict, a character battling some outside force. And on the right, you've got internal conflict, a struggle with doubt or fear or a tough decision. The most powerful stories, they almost always weave both of these together.
All right, next up in our toolkit, character. These are the people who are living through the conflict. For an audience to care, your characters have to feel real. And that means they need clear motivations for what they do. And hey, remember this, flawless characters are often forgettable. It's their vulnerabilities and their contradictions that really make them human.
And finally, we have theme. So if conflict is the what and character is the who, then theme is the why. It's that deeper meaning, the central idea about life or human nature that your story is really exploring. It's the answer to the question, so what?
Okay, so you have your tools. Now you need the blueprint. And look, structure isn't some rigid cage that locks you in. Think of it more like the framework that gives your story its shape and, more importantly, its emotional impact.
This slide shows a really simple but incredibly effective four-stage structure. You start with an introduction, you move into development, where you build up that tension, you hit a crucial turning point, and then you end with a reflection on what it all meant.
And this structure, it isn't just about moving the plot forward. No, every single stage is designed to do one thing, build towards that central idea, that theme about the human experience.
Here's a good way to think about it. The events of your story, that's the vehicle. But the theme, that's the destination. Your structure is the map that makes sure the reader arrives at that deeper meaning you want to communicate.
So you've got your tools, you've got your blueprint, but how do you make the world of your story feel real, immersive and vibrant? This is where literary techniques come in. We're talking about things like foreshadowing, pacing, point of view, but today we're going to zoom in on one of the most powerful ones, imagery.
Imagery is all about showing, not just telling. It's the art of using descriptive language that appeals to our five senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, to create this vivid mental picture for the reader.
This poem here is such a powerful example of imagery in action. Just notice the highlighted words. Thickened lung. It makes you feel the struggle to breathe. Moaning is a sound. Meat nor drink evokes taste. The writer isn't just telling us about love. They're making us feel its absence through our senses. It's so effective.
So, we've covered the tools, the blueprint, and the techniques. When you put it all together, what's the ultimate secret? What is it that separates a good story from a truly unforgettable one? Well, the secret is that a great story isn't just about the plot. It's not some list of events. It's about how those events are told to create an emotional and intellectual experience for the reader.
Ultimately, the purpose is to reveal an insight. I mean, whether your character is choosing a career path or fighting a dragon, the story is really about courage or sacrifice or identity. It uses a specific situation to explore a universal human truth. It's the difference between telling someone a fact and helping them feel a truth.
So now you have the toolkit and you have the blueprint. The only thing left to ask is, what insight about the world do you want to share? What story do you need to tell?